few issues, but
Okay. Let's see, I think we were recording. Oh,
Check.
check.
How about now? How about now? There we go. Okay. All right. We're good.
That's the hardest part of meeting every.
Nice job, Nate.
Okay. So here we are at 7:03. We're calling this meeting to order. First thing we're going to do is
Public comment. Let's see if there's anybody in here trying to. Doesn't look like we've got anybody in this meeting looking to get in. Nobody in person, so we're all right there. Okay.
So next is approval of the minutes. I sent those out a couple weeks ago. So yeah, I don't know. I noticed just I noticed that the word minutes was misspelled in one place. That was other than that, I thought you did a really good job of kind of catching all the important stuff in there. So yeah, I think definitely want to just spell check for minutes and make sure that you catch those. And other than that, I didn't really see it. Did anyone else see anything they want to sort of adjust or correct or whatever?
no.
So in terms of taking minutes moving forward, so long game, the town is going to hire somebody to manage the minutes for all the committees and commissions.
Wow.
I don't think that's like in response to anything that we said or did or like our minutes in particular. I think there's a lot of hands that touch the minutes, and the minutes are sometimes not super thorough depending on the committee, and they also don't always make it into the archive in time to sort of comply with the law. So I think the goal is just to bring someone in who kind of keep that still archived. So long term, that's going to happen. I don't know exactly when. In the short to midterm, we're still kind of on our own. I didn't hear Tara specifically say we weren't allowed to try using the AI to summarize our notes. So like, if you're able to do that, Margaret, then yeah, we can either take a look at it right at the end of the meeting, or like you can send it to me and I can just like touch it up or whatever, and then we can put it together.
So on Zoom, there's that Copilot button. And if Copilot is enabled, it'll create a transcript during the meeting, and we could ask it at the end to create minutes. But that requires a subscription.
Okay.
So if that subscription it hasn't been started, which then what we would do is wait for the recording.
Okay.
And then I can take the recording link, create a transcript, and have AI make the minutes. So I just would need the recording first.
Okay. And does it have to like go through? It probably doesn't have to like go through the recording in real time to make notes. You just give it the link and it just sort of
you upload a YouTube link, and 20 seconds later you have the transcript, and then you just copy the entire transcript and paste it into ChatGPT with a prompt, and you get minutes. So the whole thing takes 90 seconds.
Wow.
Which is why I'm raising my eyebrows about hiring someone to do minutes, because the AI can do it. You need human to check it. But it takes a task that would take a couple of hours and makes it a 90-second task with maybe 10 minutes of checking.
That's amazing.
So we can pursue that. Since Copilot, we don't have a Copilot subscription. Depending on the timing of like when the video can be uploaded to YouTube, within 5 minutes of that, we could have minutes.
Usually Tara's, and I can ask her to kind of prioritize it. Usually she gets it up by sometime on Thursday, Friday morning at the latest. But I mean, it sounds like, I know like Friday morning isn't necessarily a good time for you to be like doing this stuff. So like, if it's easier for you to like just point me in the right direction, like here's a YouTube video that teaches you how to do it, like I can learn how to do it.
Yeah. I typed up those instructions too, and I can send them to you.
So that way we can,
I can. If it's that easy, I'm happy to manage that until we get something
It's
else.
really fast, and they're good.
Cool.
And I'm happy to be the human eye to look it over afterwards if you need.
Oh, that's
Just a
awesome.
proofreader or
Well, yeah,
something.
let me try it out and see how it goes, and then we can kind of
If you guys want to
decide.
stay an extra 5 minutes, I can also show you how to do it tonight.
Perfect. Let's do that. You know, I was thinking, if folks are cool with it, and it's totally fine if not, if we can keep a quorum a little later, like we don't have to stop at 8, so we can do a little brainstorming, we can go over like whatever we want to do as long as at least half of the committee plus one. So we need, let's see, we're missing Megan and that's it, right? So I think as long as 3 people are willing to stay, we can keep the meeting going as long as we want to. Megan just entered the.
Oh, great.
Hey, Megan. Sorry I didn't see you there earlier. Can you hear us all right? Oh, she stepped away. Well, she's in there now, so she can.
Okay,
jump
great.
in if she wants
I know
to.
she's in Maine. Okay, great. Yeah, I'll show you guys how to do that at the end.
Cool. Perfect. That sounds great. Okay. So next we're moving on to reports and updates. So report number 1 is that Joe Gantz reached out to me a couple weeks ago and just said he really like. He thinks what we're doing is really cool. It's not quite in his wheelhouse, and he doesn't feel he has kind of the time to sort of contribute the way he wants to. So he put in a letter of resignation to Tara, which means that we are going to once again restart the process, front porch forum, et cetera, and see if we can hoover up one more member. So yeah, if anybody knows anyone that might be interested, this is a good time to kind of spread the word around. And I think I'll probably just mention to Tara that we're ready to like advertise it and start doing that, in the next couple of days. So, and then also you kind of introduce yourself to everyone briefly, but do you want to like give any kind of little introduction of kind of who you are, why you're here, what you're interested in? Feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Janie Wilkerson. I have lived in Pownell now for almost a year, so I'm brand new. But yeah, I'm just interested in especially the compilation of everything that this committee is doing in terms of all of the resources and around here. And then the town forest too is just a passion, I guess, of mine. So I'm excited to be here.
Great.
Yeah.
We're very
Glad to have you. Yeah.
Thanks.
Anything you want to share about your background or skills or anything like that?
Sure, yes. So I have kind of a motley background. I've done this, I'm on my like 5th career at the moment. So I went back to school when I was 40 and became a therapist. So I have a private practice and I work in clinical mental health as a trauma therapist, and I love it very much. So before that, I was a teacher and a school administrator. Before that, I was an actor for a while. But always with sort of this like science and natural resources and environmental work on the side. So that's kind of my springboard into this.
We really missed you at the reenactment.
Amateurs.
I'm sure it was awesome. Next time.
Cool. Well, yeah, we're really excited to work with you. I think there's a lot of room for you to dig into that stuff, and especially given that you kind of have this background in education. I think sort of one of the big things that I think we would like to do that we haven't done a whole lot of yet is interpretive science. Just cool information. I mean, even like these things that they have over here, like the historic markers. We could do stuff like that. We can do educational walking paths in the town forest. So there's a lot of cool ways to like bring the local like nature, local history to people, and like that's all our department. Cool. Okay. So let's see. So then the next one is this fundraising working group update. So that's kind of a working concept for this idea, but Tom and I have been talking about trying to put together like a small group of people to focus on doing some fundraising. And we've been talking about it a little bit. I actually had a chat with Tara earlier on today, and I pitched it to her. And yeah, like at first she seemed a little resistant. The more she thought about it, the more she was like, "Oh." So the concept is basically to try and get like one or two people from a few different committees and commissions that are really passionate about like doing some grant writing and fundraising for the town to sort of get together and form a working group that can then either identify grants that we feel like are sort of collectively a priority for the town and apply for them with the permission of the select board, or potentially like at Tara's direction, like she can say, hey, here's a bunch of grants we want to apply for, and we can just start cranking out grant applications to try and sort of get some money going for some reasons. So one of the big things that I think is kind of very present at this moment is, the BCRC report just came out. Have you guys seen that yet? Like, I know they did like a little presentation, but there's I'll see if I can send it around. They just released the actual report that has like their recommendations for what they want to do in this area. And it's really cool. And there's a lot of stuff that we can definitely get involved in, and a lot of stuff that's going to require fundraising to do it. So I guess, Tom had expressed some interest from this committee. Jamie, I don't know if you have interest in kind of doing that or if anyone else does, but we are actively recruiting people for something in that kind of zone.
Basically, the way I understand it, and if anybody understands it better, but there's a couple of sort of key fundraisers. Tara Parks being one of them, and maybe Jennifer Boucher, another one. But as these sort of further needs have come forward, the town forest, there's some financial needs there. This improvement of Pownell Center, and then you hear, I just attended the recreation committee. There's ballpark down in North Pownell. There's more and more needs, and the town just doesn't have the money to be shelling out, for all these needs. So we sort of figured, hey, we got to start either finding more people to write grants and maybe do some fundraising for the matching part of it. That was
Well, also just trying to coordinate, I think the committees can be so sort of siloed I think there's a real advantage to having some sort of group of people that's made up of people from a bunch of different committees, just so that we can all be better informed on what everybody else is working on and what the priorities are. We were talking about interpretive signage for the town forest, but like maybe the way we approach that is actually to wrap it in with a much larger grant application saying we want to unify the signage for the whole town. It's recreation signage for the park down here, it's town forest. So there may be ways to kind of dovetail what we're trying to do in with other important projects and raising money that can kind of benefit those all at the same time. So that's the concept. We have to get Tara on board. We have to get permission from the select board, but there's nothing stopping us from starting to just like get a group informally together and just start having conversations and looking at grant applications and whatever. So tell your friends, and we can maybe, Tom and I were talking about maybe just trying to set up a day in a couple of weeks where we could pull a few people together just for a little kind of preliminary get together, just to chat about it. So if you're interested, then we shouldn't bring anyone else on because that's our maximum number we can do without causing problems. And I'm also honestly happy to I'm very interested in this stuff. I'm more than happy to kind of leave that in really capable hands because I'm definitely plenty busy working on some other stuff.
Do you want, is the vision to have everybody who's in that group be currently on some type of committee? So I'm just thinking that we had, Joe step off the Concom, but one of the things he had listed as like a skill of his was fundraising. Right? So it's like maybe he didn't want to be on the Concom forever, but he does think of fundraising as one of his skills. So I just trying to figure out, like, should everybody be actively participating in a committee?
That's a really good question. Actually, that's something that Jamie brought up at the meeting that we had, was just that exact question. Like, can we bring people in who are not members of committees to like work on these projects? And I think, if the answer is no, then I've really screwed up, because like I've talked to tons of people who have given us input on projects. So it's like, I think if we were going to bring them in to do something really dangerous, we might want to have a chat with the town. But I think in terms of like doing fundraising, I think it's fair game to involve friends of health folks and really anyone who's involved, because there is I think this select board meeting that sort of led to this cleanup of the property over here, tapped into this. It just made me realize that there are a lot of people here who want to do work in town, but just don't have the bandwidth to join a committee to do it. So one of the things that we can do as a conservation commission, because one of our jobs is public engagement, is finding cool opportunities that are not as heavy of a lift as joining a committee and inviting community members to join us and work on those projects.
Yeah.
So I think if we're going to try and do anything super squirrely, I'd probably just run it by Tara, but I think that it's absolutely fine to consult with people sort of outside of this. And honestly, it's at a certain point, if we're all just private citizens that happen to be on different commissions meeting, if they say that we're not allowed to do it under the auspices of the town, that doesn't necessarily mean we can't get together outside of that infrastructure, even though they have a limited amount of control there. But also I think they'll nobody's going to hate us. They're all going to think it's great.
Yeah, sure.
And I was thinking kind of specifically about this fundraising thing, maybe this group that you're forming thinks about what the priorities of the town are, what the grants are, the best kind of story or angle that the town needs to go after that grant. But once those important decisions have been made, if you needed arms and legs for proofing or assembling or a draft, then maybe it could be people who aren't on a commission or something.
Absolutely. And I do want to touch on, I'll wait until a little later, but there's sort of another thing in the new business that kind of touches on that same idea. So we'll get to that pretty soon. So town forest. So I really tried, I spent a lot of time thinking about both the town forest project and the inventory project in the last month. And I tried to kind of break each one of them down into sort of these three subsections that felt like they were kind of sensible sort of categories and things that we need to sort of be focusing on and talking about and thinking about. So this isn't necessarily delegate particular projects, it's just so that we have a framework to talk about all the things we need to do and make sure we're not missing anything. So the conservation and timber goals, that is something that primarily I've been working on with Jennifer. Margaret helped out a little bit, and we talked with a bunch of kind of local experts. So I think as far as conservation commissions sort of contribution to that, I think unless there are folks that are really interested in reading through it and contributing to it more, I think we really have, we've talked with a bunch of experts, I think we have a pretty good draft. So I think I'm going to try and kind of pull that all together in the one final draft. And then we can all take one last look at it, and then I'm calling it good, and we're done with that. So hopefully, I'll try and do the draft in the next couple of weeks and send it to you guys with the agenda and the minutes and all that stuff, so everyone can kind of look over it and give any comments they have or anything.
Why don't you just explain as background for Janie? What is this?
So I think we talked about this a little bit when we met, but so the conservation goals and the timber management goals are two of these subsections of what is called the integrated management plan for the town forest. And so that is that's one of the things that's required by the grant that we have to sort of have a plan for how we want to deal with this land. And it's really very wide ranging, and it talks about our recreation goals and conservation and timber management and what we want to do now, what we want to do in the future, what's allowed, what isn't allowed. It's a big document. And so we've been delegating little pieces of it off, and the conservation and timber management goals got delegated off to the Conservation Commission. So this work happened over the course of the last handful of months. It was largely me pushing ahead, though I did at a few different moments kind of share it out to folks to take a look at. I think I was telling Tom, I need to remember where the boundary is between that working group and Concom, because I don't want to put town forest working group work on Concom's plate that isn't supposed to be there. So I think the conservation goals, I think we've had a chance to contribute. We've talked to people, and I want to kind of leave it where it is.
Unless other folks are,
like I said, unless folks are interested and want to take a look at it, in which case I'm more than happy to share it again. Yeah. So public outreach, Steve and I did a little bit of thinking and talking about, the big one that we're working on now is, trying to reach out to some businesses and survey them. That's another requirement of the grant, is just some very basic information. It's mostly just to glean whether or not the town forest has an effect on the economy over time. So have you heard about it? Like, have any of your customers talked about town forests? Would you be willing to host some signs or pamphlets or information about town forests? Yes, some really basic questions, and then we're going to follow up by going and doing some sort of in-person talks with people who sound sort of particularly excited about the project, or people who have been particularly silent about the project and haven't gotten back to us. We can go kind of check in with them. So I think that's sort of the same situation. Like I've sent it around once or twice in this group. I'm going to show it to the Vorak working group too, but I think we're basically ready to send that out. And then that's another one where, like, if folks are super interested in getting involved and talking with business owners, by all means. Otherwise, I think Steve and I can probably take that from here. And yeah, I think it's a pretty light lift in the grand scheme of things. So then the last thing on here is interpretive signage and nature trail grant writing. So we kind of talked about that. But like, to me, the most important thing that we can do for the town forest in the short term is trying to raise some money for interpretive signs. Because even if it's just a very basic, like, watch out for ticks. This is hunting season, don't forget to bring water, like just some really basic stuff. I think we should really be trying. And also, like, at least a little bit of wayfinding. Just we need to get something up there now, So I think one thing that we do want to kind of delegate out and think about is sort of what do we need right now to make it safe for people to sort of use the forest. And Tara said that for stuff that does feel like kind of safety related, the town might be able to come up with some money to help us buy that first round of signs. So I think there we really just have to.
Uh-oh.
What? There we go. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
The town can help with the first sign.
Yeah, the town can help with the first signs. Right. So I think maybe I don't know. Is there anyone interested in just sort of working on brainstorm, or actually, I mean, do you guys want to do it right now? Just like brainstorm a list of the things we think are really important to tell people, like with the town forest in its current state. I mean, the biggest one that came to mind for me was ticks.
Yeah.
But like no off-leash dogs.
Anything like that, just to kind of, even no ATVs, honestly, is something we should probably put up there sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I think there's almost like a rules, like.
Yeah, the problem is we don't have formalized rules yet, so we need just like the basic common sense, like.
Well, but I mean, like, whatever was in the granted, like the conservation agreement with the Vermont Land Trust, right?
Right. Yeah, like the rules about like the ATV, like what? Yeah, in a very general way, what's allowed and what isn't.
Yeah, permitted, not permitted.
Yeah.
No motorized vehicles or no.
Yep. And then I think probably something just about when hunting season is. I know that's still a little ways away, but just so that we know there's a sign up there, sort of making sure that people know that. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and hold us. Sorry.
There's always something.
How's that? Hello?
It says reconnect the mic. Where's the mic?
The mic is echoing and you're frozen, but it's just great otherwise.
Yeah, this thing was just like, maybe I should just unplug this all together. It's like just out in the middle.
I don't think Hannah Darling is talking.
Is this the mic? Are these mics here?
That is a mic.
You're making it echo more and more.
You turn it red, it should be.
Oh, no, it's too far behind.
Your video is still frozen and your mic is echoing like crazy. That's my input.
Even mess with anything. These are the mics. There's feeding here. This is its own feeding right here. One jack. Do you mind if I pull out the microphone jack and just?
Oh, yes, you do. That microphone pop right here. This guy here, yeah, go for it. Jack. See what happens. Yeah. That's what I thought.
You're getting a lot of reverb.
Oh, here we go. Listen, now this is your good turn. Not sure. Well, you can keep the recording going there and just leave the video and this is a separate client that joined the meeting. So I think we can kill this without killing the whole meeting.
Yeah, everything is.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, Megan, can you still hear us on the computer? Oh,
I can hear you, but I can't see anything. No screen at all, no video.